My beloved child, listen to me with an open heart, because I am speaking hope into places where discouragement has quietly settled. And I want you to know from the very beginning that your best days are not behind you. They are still ahead, even if right now it feels difficult to believe that. And I understand why you feel the way you do, because life has taught you lessons through pain, through loss, through disappointment, and through seasons where things did not turn out as you prayed they would. And those experiences can slowly convince your heart to expect less, to hope cautiously, or to believe that joy is something meant for others but not for you. Yet I am telling you now that this is not the truth of your story, because I see the whole path of your life, not just the part you're standing in, and I am not finished with you, not even close. And I know there are moments when you look back and feel nostalgia for times when things felt simpler, when dreams felt brighter, when hope came more easily, and you wonder if those days were the best you would ever know. But hear me clearly. The future I am preparing for you is not a lesser version of the past. It is deeper, wiser, and richer in ways you could not have understood then, because growth changes the way blessings are received. And I know you sometimes feel tired of starting again, tired of believing again, tired of opening your heart after it has been hurt. But believing again is not weakness, it is courage. And courage is something I am restoring in you right now, even if you do not yet feel it. And I see how fear has tried to convince you to protect yourself by lowering expectations, by avoiding hope, by telling yourself that it is safer not to want too much. But that is not the life I created you for, because I did not design you to merely survive. I designed you to live with purpose, peace, and quiet joy. And I know it feels risky to believe again after disappointment, because disappointment leaves marks, it teaches caution, it whispers that hope leads to pain. But hope placed in me does not disappoint, because I am faithful, and I do not build futures on empty promises. And I want you to understand that the delays you have experienced were not meant to deny you goodness, they were meant to prepare you for it. Because what I am bringing into your life requires a heart that is stronger, wiser, and more grounded than before. And I know you sometimes feel like time has slipped away, like opportunities have passed, like you were behind where you should be. But time in my hands is never wasted, and nothing meant for you has been lost, because I am not limited by timelines, age, seasons, or circumstances, and I am able to restore what you thought was gone and to open doors you thought were permanently closed. And I know you may struggle to trust that things can truly improve, because your recent experiences have shaped your expectations, but your expectations do not limit me, and your past does not cancel your future. And even now, I am planting new seeds in your life, seeds of clarity, resilience, and renewed vision, though you may not see them yet. And seeds take time to grow, but growth is happening beneath the surface, and one day you will look back on this season and realize it was the turning point, not because everything changed overnight, but because your heart began to believe again. And believing again does not mean pretending everything is fine. It means choosing to trust me, even when the way ahead is unclear. And I am with you in that choice, strengthening you gently, patiently, without pressure. And I know there are voices around you and within you that say you should be further along by now, that you missed your moment, that your chance has passed. But those voices are not mine, because I speak life, not condemnation. And my voice says there is still more ahead for you, more peace, more growth, more meaning, and more joy than you have yet experienced. And I am not calling you to rush into the future or force change. I am calling you to open your heart again, little by little, to allow hope to breathe again, and to trust that I am leading you forward with intention. And even if your faith feels fragile right now, fragile faith is still faith, and I honor it when you bring it to me honestly. And I am walking with you step by step, not dragging you, not abandoning you, but guiding you toward a future that reflects my goodness and care. Because your story is still unfolding, and the chapters ahead carry purpose and promise you have not yet imagined. And I want you to hold on to this truth today, that your best days are still ahead, not because life will be perfect, but because you will face what comes with me beside you, and that changes everything. My beloved child, as you continue listening, I want you to stay open to what I am placing within your heart, because believing again is not something that happens all at once. It unfolds gently as trust is rebuilt, layer by layer. And I know how guarded your heart has become, not because you lack faith, but because you have learned through experience that hope can hurt when it seems unanswered. And I do not blame you for that. I understand it deeply. And I want you to know that I am not asking you to forget the past or pretend it did not affect you. I am asking you to allow me to redeem it, because nothing you have been through was wasted. Not the delays, not the disappointments, not the seasons where you felt stuck or overlooked. And even when you thought nothing good could come from those moments, I was shaping you quietly, giving you depth, compassion, patience, and discernment that you could not have gained any other way. And I know you sometimes feel like you have changed, like you are not as hopeful or carefree as you once were, and you wonder if that part of you is gone forever. But growth does not erase who you were, it refines who you are becoming, and the joy ahead of you will not be shallow or fragile. It will be rooted in wisdom and strength. And I know that fear often whispers that believing again will only lead to disappointment again. But fear speaks from wounds, not from truth. And I am inviting you to trust my truth over your fear, because fear tries to protect you by keeping you small, while my love invites you to live fully. And I know there are moments when you replay past failures or missed opportunities and think, if only I had done this differently. But hear me clearly now. Your future is not hostage to your past, and I am not confined by the mistakes you regret, because I am able to restore, reroute, and renew in ways you cannot predict. And nothing that truly belongs to you will be lost, because I am careful with your life and intentional with your calling. And I know that sometimes you feel behind, like others have moved ahead while you are still waiting. But waiting does not mean you are falling behind. It often means you are being prepared, because what I have planned for you requires a heart that is steady, humble, and anchored. And I am building that within you now, even when the process feels slow. And I know you sometimes feel tired of starting over, tired of hoping again after disappointment, tired of trusting when outcomes feel uncertain. But every time you choose to believe again, even quietly, even cautiously, something within you grows stronger. And I am with you in that growth, encouraging you gently, never forcing you forward faster than your heart can handle. And I want you to understand that believing again does not mean ignoring reality. It means choosing to trust me within reality. And reality may still include challenges, delays, and unanswered questions, but my presence within those realities changes how they shape you. And I know you sometimes worry that time is running out, that you are running out of chances, but time does not limit me, and opportunities are not scarce in my hands, because I am able to create new beginnings even when you think the season has passed. And I know it feels vulnerable to hope again, because hope opens your heart, but a closed heart cannot receive what I desire to give you. And I am not asking you to hope blindly. I am asking you to hope with me, because I am trustworthy, and I have already walked ahead of you into the days to come, and there is goodness waiting for you there. Not a perfect life, but a meaningful one, filled with moments of peace, growth, connection, and purpose. And I know there are days when your confidence wavers and your faith feels small, but small faith placed in my hands is powerful, and I honor it. And I am not measuring you by how boldly you believe, but by how honestly you come to me. And I want you to know that the future I am leading you into is not built on who you used to be, but on who you are becoming. And that future includes healing where there was hurt, clarity where there was confusion, and renewed joy where there was weariness. And even now, I am aligning things you cannot yet see, preparing opportunities, softening hearts, and opening paths that will make sense when the time is right. And until that time comes, I am asking you to take one step at a time with me, to allow hope to rise slowly, and to trust that believing again is not a mistake. It is the doorway to the next chapter of your life, a chapter where your best days are not behind you, but ahead, unfolding with purpose, guided by my love and sustained by my presence every step of the way. My beloved child, as you remain here with me and continue to listen, I want you to understand something deeply important about the season you are in now. Because this season is not a pause in your life, it is preparation. And I know that preparation does not always feel meaningful while you are inside it, especially when progress feels slow and results are not visible. But I am doing careful and intentional work within you, shaping your heart, your perspective, and your resilience in ways that will support what is coming next. And I know there are moments when you feel frustrated with yourself, wondering why you still struggle with certain fears, why doubts still surface, why confidence does not stay steady. And I want you to hear me clearly now. Growth is not the absence of struggle. It is the willingness to keep trusting me, even when struggle remains. And I am not disappointed by the areas where you feel unfinished, because I am the one who is finishing the work, and I work patiently, thoroughly, and with love. And I know that part of you longs for reassurance that your efforts are leading somewhere, that your faith is not in vain, and that your willingness to keep going will be rewarded. And I want you to know that nothing you are doing in obedience, honesty, and trust is ever wasted, even when no one else sees it, because I see the quiet choices you make, the restraint you show, the integrity you keep, and the courage it takes to continue believing when circumstances have not yet changed. And those choices are shaping a future that is more solid than quick success ever could be. And I know that sometimes you feel pressure to become someone else, to change who you are in order to fit expectations, to appear stronger or more confident than you truly feel. But I am not asking you to become someone else. I am inviting you to become more fully who I created you to be. And that process takes time, patience, and grace, and I give you all three. And I know that past disappointments still echo in your thoughts, making you cautious, reminding you of times when things did not work out. And those memories can quietly influence how much you allow yourself to hope now. But I want you to remember that the future I am leading you into is not a repeat of your past, because you are not the same person you were then. You have grown, you have learned, and you have been strengthened in ways you could not have anticipated. And I am not leading you forward empty-handed. I am leading you forward equipped. And I know you sometimes fear that believing again will make you vulnerable to pain again. But vulnerability is not weakness when it is placed in my hands, because I protect what is entrusted to me, and I do not expose your heart carelessly. And I know there are moments when you feel unsure about your purpose, when you wonder if your life is making a difference, if your presence matters, and if your path has meaning. And I want you to know that purpose is not always found in grand gestures or visible success. It is often found in faithfulness, consistency, and love lived out in ordinary moments. And those moments are not small to me. They are sacred, and I am weaving them together into something greater than you can currently see. And I know that waiting has tested your patience, and silence has tested your trust. But silence does not mean inactivity, because even when you cannot hear my voice clearly, I am still guiding you, still protecting you, and still preparing the way ahead. And I know there are days when you feel emotionally exhausted, when motivation fades and joy feels distant. But those days do not cancel your future. They simply remind you that you need to lean closer to me, because I am your source, not your circumstances. And I want you to stop interpreting temporary feelings as permanent truth, because feelings shift, but my promises remain. And I know you sometimes measure your progress by how you feel, but growth often happens quietly, long before it is felt. And one day you will look back and realize that the strength you prayed for was built in these very moments when you felt unsure. And I know that comparison still tries to creep into your thoughts, tempting you to believe that others are ahead while you are behind. But I want you to release that burden, because comparison distorts reality and steals gratitude. And the path I have chosen for you is not meant to be rushed or copied. It is meant to be lived with trust. And I am walking with you on it personally, attentively, and lovingly. And I want you to understand that believing again does not require you to ignore wisdom or abandon discernment. It simply means allowing hope to rise without fear ruling your decisions. And I am guiding you to a place where hope and wisdom walk together, where faith is steady and not fragile, and where your confidence is rooted in my faithfulness rather than in outcomes. And as you continue forward, step by step with me beside you, know this with certainty, that the future I am leading you into carries purpose, depth, and meaning that you are being prepared to receive. And your best days are not something you missed, they are something you are growing toward, shaped by every lesson, every prayer, and every moment of trust you are offering now. My beloved child, as you come to this final part and hold these words close, I want you to let them settle not only in your thoughts, but deep within your spirit. Because this is where true believing again begins, not in sudden excitement, but in quiet assurance. And I want you to know with certainty that your life is not winding down into something smaller. It is opening into something deeper, stronger, and more meaningful, even if the road to it feels slow right now. And I understand how easy it is for discouragement to convince you that your best moments have already passed, especially when you have endured loss, failure, or seasons where effort did not produce the outcome you hoped for. But I am telling you now that your story is not defined by what has already happened. It is shaped by what I am still doing, and I am still working, still guiding, still opening paths you cannot yet see. And I know there are times when you feel unsure about yourself, when confidence wavers and you question whether you still have what it takes to move forward. But listen to me carefully. You do not move forward by your own strength alone. You move forward because I walk with you, and where I walk, growth follows. And I know you sometimes fear that believing again will expose you to disappointment again, that opening your heart will lead to more pain. But guarding your heart with fear will only keep you from receiving the good I desire to give you. And I am not careless with your heart. I am gentle and attentive, and when you place your hope in me, it rests on something steady and unchanging, not on circumstances that shift. And I know you sometimes feel pressure to catch up, to prove yourself, to make up for lost time, but rushing has never produced peace, and I am not urging you to hurry. I am inviting you to trust, because what is meant for you will come at the right time, not because you forced it, but because it was prepared for you. And I know there are moments when your past tries to speak louder than your future, reminding you of what went wrong, what hurt, or what you wish you had done differently. But your past does not get the final word, because I am the one who redeems, restores, and renews. And even the parts of your story that feel broken are being woven into something purposeful. And I want you to stop seeing your scars as signs of weakness and begin seeing them as evidence of survival and growth, because you are still here, still believing, still listening, and that itself is a sign that I am not finished with you. And I know there are days when your faith feels quiet, when belief does not feel bold or confident, but quiet faith is still faith, and it is often the kind that lasts because it is rooted in trust rather than emotion, and I honor that faith when you bring it to me honestly. And I know you sometimes wonder if you will recognize the moment when things begin to change, if you will know when the turning point arrives. But change often comes gradually, like dawn breaking after a long night. And one day you will realize that light has been growing for some time. And I know you may still feel unsure even as this message ends, but uncertainty does not mean absence of direction, because I am leading you even when you cannot see the whole path. And you do not need to have complete clarity to take the next step. You only need to stay close to me, and I will provide what you need as you go. And I want you to carry this truth with you now, that your future is not something to fear. It is something to walk into with me, and your best days are not behind you. They are unfolding ahead, shaped by wisdom you have gained, compassion you have grown into, and strength that has been formed through endurance. And even the joy ahead of you will be deeper, because it will not be naive, it will be grounded. And I am not promising you a life without challenges. I am promising you a life where challenges do not have the final say, because I do. And I am faithful to complete what I have begun in you. And as you move forward from this moment, let your heart believe again, gently, patiently, without pressure, trusting that I am walking with you into everything that is ahead. And nothing you are facing now is greater than my love for you or my ability to lead you well. And hold on to this assurance as you go,
that you are deeply loved, fully known, and carefully guided. And your best days are still ahead because I am with you in them, and I will never leave you nor forsake you. And if this message touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe.